What would more confidence allow you to do or to have? Think about it. What could you achieve? How would you feel if you felt 10 times more confident? More confident in pursuing what you want, more confident in saying no when you feel like things are not aligned to what you want and where you're going, more confident in building outstanding relationships. If you had more confidence, you would earn more, you would have a greater influence, and the list goes on and on. So why are you limiting yourself? I have been running workshops on confidence. I have been working with clients to help them build fundamental confidence. And I have been building my own confidence since I've been a teenager. I'm telling you this not to brag, but for you to hear that whatever I will be sharing with you right now is supported by lifelong experience, not just of one person, but of many. And I know firsthand what a huge difference having those high levels of confidence can make to your life. So by the end of this video, you will have 5 tools that will help you to build unshakable confidence and hopefully will give you some aha moments that will change how you look at confidence in general. I want you to be really emotionally invested in this episode, and I want you to really focus on yourself over the next 10-15 minutes, as this video can potentially change your life. And the biggest takeaway for you before we even start is that confidence can be built. It is a skill. Otherwise, I wouldn't even have had a job. Tool 1. Work on your big T traumas and limiting beliefs. Big T trauma are big traumatic events that happen to us throughout the life that actually started to impact us and define how we think about ourselves, how we relate to this world, and how we go about everything in this life. Losing a parent, experiencing abuse, losing a child, surviving war, living with parents who had an addiction. So all of those things are big traumas that potentially can impact how you can go about life. And the reason why I put this first is because these things would have had such a huge impact on your mindset and your values and beliefs that unless you work through those and unless you are incredibly self-aware of how those things impact your life, it can potentially sabotage you from even stepping onto the path of building that self-confidence. There is a test called the Adverse Childhood Experiences. It's called ACE test. And many therapists actually use this test in their therapy to see whether there were a lot of traumas impacting the clients. The more stressful events we had in life, the more work we might need to do on our mindset, on your own, but better with the help of a therapist if it relates to big T traumas, or with coach if it relates to limiting beliefs or goal setting. And this is where many people, men and women, get it wrong. If you have spare $5,000 to $10,000, do not buy stuff. Invest in therapist or coach to work through those inner things, through deep things. You don't need expensive bags or watch to make you more confident. The true luxury is not built through external elements. The true luxury is what stays with you when you have nothing and no one. And it is your inner confidence, inner power that is only possible through deep inner work. Tool number 2, raise your standards and work towards them. Push yourself for more. It all starts with elevating your standards. Let's take a situation. You had a successful career. You then got married, decided to put your career on pause. In the meantime, you had babies and decided to move countries because, let's say, your partner got a better job offer somewhere else. Fine. Throughout all of this time, you started to ask yourself different questions. You started to think, who am I now? Will I even be able to go back to workforce and to go back to corporate? How will I even be able to juggle it all? And you get paralyzed. You spend a week after week thinking that there is no way out, that you feel stuck. So here is what I want you to do today. I want you to elevate your standards and say to yourself, I'm a woman who deserves to have a thriving career and a thriving marriage, a wonderful relationship with kids, who exercises regularly and who feels and looks good in her body. It all starts with the wish. It all starts with the belief that we deserve more. Hence why the first tip on this list is to do some inner work on your mindset, because if you don't believe you deserve, there is no way you would even use those tools that I'm sharing with you here. And then I want you to think, how would someone who I want to become behave today? So that woman who thinks like that, what would she do today? Because in order for you to have that identity that you want to build, you have to start having new behaviors first. Whoever you listen to, Mel Robbins or Mark Manson or many others, they all will say the same thing. You have to become a person before you are a person. So that woman you want to become will start thinking about how she can start rebuilding her energy levels, how she can become more resourceful again, how can she invest in herself and potentially get some support system in place, hire a coach, hire a babysitter, learn some productivity tools, catch up with some recruiters. Maybe she would start thinking about updating her CV. In short, she will start doing hard things, hard for her, which brings me to the next point. Tool number 3, be willing to do hard things. Not just random hard things, but hard things specifically for you. And here is why. By doing things that are hard for you, you will do 2 things that will boost your confidence. Firstly, you will build competence, aka knowledge, because you will learn how to do those hard things. And knowledge always gives us more confidence. For example, if you know how to cook, you obviously will feel more confident in the kitchen than if you never ever used a stove top in your life. So all of that knowledge builds up to competence, and competence builds up to confidence. And secondly, which is a huge one, you will build self-belief. You will build that belief in your capabilities and that you can. You subconsciously will start record that pattern. Hard thing, I tried, I showed up, I can. It means that the next time when the difficult task comes up, your subconscious will send a signal. You were able to show up last time and you can do it now too. It creates that loop of confidence, as I call it. Hard task, action, self-belief, confidence, and then it goes just the same circle. And you are more keen to try hard task again and again, as it enhances your confidence again and again. So it is like that interconnected circle. And then people say, "Oh, how come you are so confident?" When in reality, I'm just willing to do hard things again and again and raise my bar. I want to tell you a story. I had just immigrated to Australia 2 months since I've arrived. I was in this white collar job and everyone was going for a drink on Friday night. It's a standing drink outside, noisy bar, huge crowd, music. And when you go to the bar, you're obviously not going to stand in the corner there and just drinking on your own, right? So you have to talk, you have to have conversation. I came to Australia from Ukraine, so obviously English was and still is my foreign language. I remember I wanted the ground to literally swallow me. I was so uncomfortable. Firstly, people were constantly laughing at my accent. Australians are not used to European accents. And secondly, it was extremely loud. So I couldn't even hear anyone at all, let alone understand everyone speaking an Australian accent. I couldn't understand what they were saying. I could sense how people were finding me weird. Of course they would, because most of the time I was just nodding and trying to smile. I was sweating to the point that my shirt was wet when I left, and it was a relatively chilly winter day in Australia. But I knew that there is no other way to elevate my English except for the hard way. Go to those events, have those conversations, ignore judgment and laughs. In order for me to be able to sit here right now and talk like this, run workshops and do public speaking and keynote speaking in English as my foreign language, I had to experience millions of hard moments before. And it stands true for whatever thing you pick up and want to do. By the way, if you like this insight, sign up for my free newsletter where I talk about how to build 360 success, from career to relationships, from joy to confidence and productivity. The link is in the description below. Tool number 4, take action. So now, as we have worked on our big traumas and limiting beliefs that potentially can create huge obstacles for us to take even action, we have raised our standards, which obviously push us to dream bigger. We realize the importance of doing hard things. We now have to take action. We have to take action despite anything, despite fear, despite overthinking, despite analysis paralysis. So next time, when you need to raise your hand and say something important in the meeting in front of tens of people, or if you have to have that unpleasant conversation with your boss or with your partner, and you literally feel like you are paralyzed and you can't even breathe, I want you to do the following. You need to think of the moment when you felt the most powerful, assertive, confident, free self. We all have had those moments. We just need to recall those and have it in our toolbox for you to then quickly remember when you need to take action. I want you to imagine that this is you now. Even if you think that you lost that, I want you to quickly put yourself back into the body of that person and take that action in that state. It all should happen in a few seconds, so no overthinking, no analyzing. That's why it's very important for you to do that prep and have that moment that you can always revert back in your toolkit. You bring that moment up in your head, and then you bring yourself back in your memory, and you start acting as that powerful, free, assertive, confident version of you would. What it does, it actually helps you to tap into your courage to be able to take that action. It gives you a courage to do those hard things for you. Again, don't compare yourself with others. And the rest just follows as per that loop of confidence I showed you earlier. For example, for me, that moment is when I was on stage dancing, when I was a teenager. I used to be a dancer for 17 years of my life. And every time I have to do now a really stressful presentation, or I have to come out on the stage or do public speaking, I bring myself back to that moment when I used to dance on the stage and dance as if no one sees me. I felt the most empowered, free, and confident self at that moment. So I still use that memory even now until today. So you have to come up with something of your own, because we all have those moments. You just need to remember those, and you just need to have it in your toolkit. Tool number 5, be prepared. There is an old saying by John Wooden: confidence comes from being prepared. When you're well prepared, you're not guessing, you're grounded in knowledge. You've done the thinking, the planning, the research. You're ready to show up. That work builds mental clarity, and with clarity comes calm. It is much easier to show up in the meeting when you know your stuff. It is much easier to show up for the public speaking presentation when you know you've rehearsed it for hundreds of times. You don't know when life throws a challenge or an opportunity onto you, but you'd better be prepared when it comes. There are multiple videos on my channel how you can communicate effectively, how to run your finances confidently, and how to confidently navigate through relationships and job challenges. So check those out to get a little more prepared in every area of your life. And the bonus tip that I promised to share with you is called Misogi Challenge. I learned about Misogi Challenge from Jesse Itzler. And Jesse Itzler is a famous coach and speaker. And Misogi Challenge is a Japanese concept. It talks about the fact that you have come up with something challenging, is something big that's going to shape your character. So it can be different things. It can be running a marathon. It can be learning another language. It can be some fitness challenge that you want to build up for yourself. Whatever puts you outside of your comfort zone, whatever you think, oh my God, I just don't think I can do that. So that thing, put it in the challenge for yourself and see how your character develops and how your confidence builds up over the course of that year. And I can guarantee you it can have a huge impact on your confidence levels. I want to leave you today with my favorite way of looking at confidence. Confidence is not about thinking that everything will be okay. It is about knowing that you will be okay, even when the whole world around you is not. And if you want to learn more about actionable mindset strategies that can help you confidently and constantly thrive in life and achieve what you want, check out my video here where I talk about those. As always, rooting for you and for your success. With care, Anna.